In this video, we'll explore a typical 1950s American family, their weekly routines, the struggles of saving for a home, the pride of union work, and the little joys that made life worth living. Stay with me. This story will remind you not only of how people lived back then, but also of what truly matters today. Every Friday night, Julia's job is to compare the grocery prices at all the neighborhood stores, preparing for our Saturday morning shopping trip. Once that's settled, I figure I might be able to squeeze in a little reading before bed. But only after turning down the radio a bit and glancing through the evening paper. Then, finally, it's my time to relax. Saturday is my work-at-home day. Like always, there are 1,000,001 things to be done around the house, so I get things started while Julia is out doing the shopping. There are 5 big neighborhood markets within just a couple of blocks of our house. And Julia spreads our shopping around, going wherever the prices are lowest and the quality best. With 6 mouths to feed, food is a big part of our budget. We have to make sure we get the most for our money. Every Saturday morning, Julia buys food for the entire week, taking her time to ensure everything she picks is fresh and good. Vegetables and fruit come from one store, meat from another. We're all big meat eaters in our family, even little Jackie. That means Julia has to make sure there's plenty to go around. On Saturday mornings, I also spend an hour or so going over our accounts and bills, figuring out ways to stretch my paycheck to cover everything. Upkeep on the house, car expenses, electricity, gas, and all the rest. One Saturday, as I started to unfold my check, I had an odd feeling about the date printed on it. It hit me. Exactly 13 years ago this week, I had started my very first day at the plant. 13 years. A lot had happened since that first week. That was the week I joined the United Auto Workers, the UAW. Not long after, the fellows in my department elected me shop steward. If the workers had any grievances or complaints, they brought them to me, and I'd take them up with the foreman. If the foreman felt he couldn't make a fair decision or settle the grievance, we went to a higher representative of management. Special committee meetings were sometimes held to discuss personal problems or issues that came up between workers and management. The main goal was always the same for the union and management to sit down together and settle things fairly for everyone. Usually, we could settle matters quickly, and we all believed that was the best way for everyone concerned. The union became a big part of my life, and it still is. I even took an interest in helping to set up recreational classes for the youngsters of our members. I figured one day my own kids would be there, learning to dance and enjoying themselves just like these children. I remember the day Julia and I made up our minds that we were through paying money to landlords. We decided we were going to build our own home. Easier said than done. We had to scrimp and save every penny we could to get the money for a down payment on a new house. Then one day, our bank deposit book showed that the money had finally been saved. We took the money, got ourselves a Federal Housing Administration loan, and we were on our way. By 1940, our new home was finished, and we were ready to move in. Once we moved in, the next big job was getting acquainted with our new neighborhood, meeting our neighbors and making friends with the people we'd likely be living close to for the rest of our lives. This house, this street, these people, they would become the setting for most of Julia's time, our children's childhood, and much of my own life. I got my first real sense of the kind of neighbors we had the day I tried mowing the lawn with my old, broken-down mower. People next door, across the road, and down the street all pitched in to help. It didn't take long before we were no longer strangers. Our neighbors, working folks like me, made us feel at home right away. Soon, we were gathering for Saturday night card parties. A young couple from across the street would come over, and another couple from 2 houses down joined in. It turned out to be a great way to spend an evening. In fact, we still do it. Neither Julia nor I have ever missed voting in an election, and we rarely miss church on Sunday mornings. Life in our new home felt right. Of course, not everything was smooth sailing. One evening, I came home to find little Jeannie crying. Julia was upset too. Jeannie had brought home a note from her teacher saying she had to improve in arithmetic or risk being put in a lower grade. I think I felt even worse about it than Jeannie did. I tried to help her myself. After all, I deal with figures and numbers at work all the time, but it had been years since I tackled high school math. We decided it would be best for Julia to go talk to Jeannie's teacher. She went to school one afternoon, and right away, the teacher and Julia got along well. They talked about their own schooling, about mine, and about how we wanted our children to get even more education than we had. A few weeks later, we got the good news. Jeannie was staying with her class. But those years weren't without hardships. I've had my share of good breaks and bad. Even though all our machines have safety devices, there was a time I got careless and had an accident. One of the fellows rushed me to the plant infirmary. My hand could have been badly smashed, but luckily it wasn't. Quick medical attention and good company insurance meant Julia and the kids didn't have to worry while I was off the job. The X-ray showed several small bones were broken, and I was laid up for a couple of weeks. But all that faded into the past the moment Joan came running into the house, calling me to come outside and help carry in the groceries. Yes, there are 6 mouths to feed, worries and troubles, problems and good times. But all of it, the years of hard work, the struggles and triumphs, have been worth it. Changing the details a little, the way I live might be the way of any one of us at the factory. Doing our best to make a decent life for ourselves. And maybe, just maybe, making it a little better for our children. Through busy Saturdays, neighborhood friendships, family challenges, and small victories, this family's story reflects the heart of post-war America. Even though times have changed, the dream is still the same. A good job, a safe home, and a better future for our kids. I'd love to hear from you. Does this remind you of your own family's traditions or stories you've heard from your parents and grandparents? Drop a comment below and share your memories. And if you enjoyed this trip back to the 1950s, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell, because there is so much more to discover about the way we used to live.